Hello everyone, welcome back. AITAH for telling my daughter, 23F, she's a bad person over pizza? My family consists of me, my husband, my daughter, 23F, and my son, 17M. My daughter moved back home during lockdown in 2020 while finishing her master's degree. She took a year off to work and is now pursuing a second degree. I told her that if she stayed at home and avoided taking out loans, we'd help her with food, petrol, and other expenses, though we're not paying for her degree itself. On Thursday night, we had a pizza party for myself, my husband, our kids, and their partners. It went great, everyone got along really well, and the evening was a success. On Friday night, the four of us, me, my husband, my daughter, and my son, went to their grandparents' house for a family dinner. On Saturday, my husband and I returned from a shopping trip around lunchtime and told my daughter she needed to get ready for another pizza night. I had invited some old family friends over. She looked surprised and said she didn't know we were hosting another pizza night. She explained that she had planned to spend her weekend working on assignments Saturday, so she could visit her boyfriend on Sunday and Monday for Valentine's Day. I told her she could at least stay for the meal. She said no, pointing out that these gatherings always stretch into long meals, and she'd need to wash her hair and do her makeup, something she planned to do on Sunday so she'd be ready for her Valentine's visit without needing to wash her hair at her boyfriend's place. This sparked an argument. I told her if she was going to behave like that, I'd just cancel the whole thing. She said that was ridiculous because she didn't ask for the event or even know about it. The argument escalated. She insisted it was her time and that she had important work to do. She also mentioned I'd just had a week off, implying I had more flexibility than she did. I complained that I was doing my best to please everyone, and she retorted that my plans weren't her responsibility. Things came to a head when my husband walked in. I told him our daughter was refusing to join because she didn't want pizza again. She snapped back, saying, "It's not because you're making pizza, it's because I'm busy. And I don't want pizza, either." What upset me most was her tone. She referred to me as she instead of using my name or title in the discussion. I felt disrespected and said, "I am not she." She doubled down and repeated her point, this time using he instead. It was obviously meant to provoke me. In frustration, I told her, "You're a bad person." She didn't join the pizza night and was annoyed the guests stayed until 1 a.m., preventing her from preparing her own dinner. Since then, we haven't spoken. AITAH for calling her a bad person? I think she's being ungrateful. She could have just joined for dinner, it wasn't a big ask. But she blew the situation out of proportion, saying she doesn't like people seeing her as a mess. I don't understand why it was so hard for her to participate in one meal. Edit, regarding the pronouns, yes, I identify as female, but it's rude to refer to someone as she instead of using their name or a title, especially during a heated discussion. When I expressed my frustration, she escalated things by switching to he on purpose to upset me further. Next story. AITAH for implying that my boyfriend is cheap because of the V-Day gift he got me? I, 31F, have been with my boyfriend, 37M, a single dad with 2 boys, for 2 years. He has a decent job with a good income and enjoys woodworking as a hobby. For Valentine's Day, birthdays, and other celebrations, he usually gifts me jewelry, while I get him his favorite gadgets or sports gear. This Valentine's Day, I got him a pair of sneakers that I knew he wanted. Today, he gave me my gift, a wooden framed photo of him, me, and the kids. I have to be honest, I wasn't thrilled. I didn't want to say anything, but he kept pressing me for my reaction. When I finally told him my honest opinion, he looked hurt. I said I appreciated the effort, but I also pointed out that he could have bought me at least a $200 necklace to wear to the engagement party we have coming up. He was shocked and said I was out of line for implying he was being cheap. He explained that the photo frame was something he made with the kids, putting a lot of thought and effort into it because they see me as family, and he wanted to give me something meaningful. I said I understood and appreciated the gesture, but it wouldn't have hurt to include a necklace as a thoughtful combo gift. This comment made him even angrier. He said he couldn't believe I'd value a necklace as much as, or more than, a heartfelt gift he and the kids worked on together. We argued, and breakfast was ruined. He went upstairs and has refused to speak to me since. I feel like he's blowing this out of proportion. He asked for my opinion, and I gave it. I'm not sure if he has the right to be upset with me now. AITAH? Next story. AITAH for eating my wife's food? Posted on r/AITAH by you/foodie throwawayta. My wife is an extremely picky eater. This has been a point of contention in our relationship for years. She claims her pickiness is due to sensory issues, but sometimes it feels excessive. For example, she won't even try new things at restaurants and has embarrassed me on multiple occasions by not finishing meals at my mom's house. Her defense is that she does try my mom's cooking, even though it sometimes makes her feel sick. My mom is an amazing cook, and I don't believe there's anything inherently wrong with her food, it's just my wife's pickiness getting in the way. A few months ago, I reached my limit and told my wife that I was tired of eating the same 10 or so meals she rotates for dinner. I wanted more variety. Her response? Fine, I'll feed me, and you feed you. She even divided our food budget and told me to handle my own shopping and meal prep. At first, I thought she'd come around, but she didn't. After the first month, I was begging her to cook for me again. She refused. She said she actually feels less stressed now that she's only cooking for herself and prefers this arrangement. I've been really unhappy with this setup. Obviously, I can't force her to cook for me, but my portion of the food budget doesn't stretch far because I end up relying on takeout a lot. Late at night, when I'm hungry, I've eaten her leftovers a few times. She got really mad at me for it and said, "That's my food. You can go get takeout, cook for yourself, or prepare snacks in advance." She even threatened to buy a mini fridge with a lock to store her food if I don't stop eating it. The idea of having a locked fridge in my own home feels so wrong to me. I believe marriage should be about sharing things equally, but she says I need to live with the consequences of my actions, namely, asking for more variety and now rating her meals. I feel like this whole thing has gone too far, but she insists I'm the one in the wrong. Am I really such a huge asshole for eating my wife's leftovers? Next story, AITAH for ruining my wife's work and eating the food before she could take pictures of it? My wife runs a website dedicated to cooking and recipes. She takes pictures of the food before we eat, whether it's lunch or dinner, and posts them on her Instagram account. To be honest, I'm getting really annoyed by having to wait so long for her to get the perfect shot of the food after decorating it, adding this fork, and removing that salad dish. It just takes forever, and I lose my appetite from just waiting until she's done. This has become the norm, but yesterday, I decided I'd had enough. I found out that she had cooked an entire feast as her next cooking project and set it all on the table. Note that, by looking at the whole table setting, I assumed she had already taken pictures. But no, she said she was going to take a few more pictures and I had to wait. She went upstairs to get her camera, and that's when I grabbed the spoon and started filling my plate from every dish she made, ruining the look as a result. I was hungry and wasn't willing to wait another 10+ minutes to eat. She came downstairs, saw the damage, and completely blew up, almost crying, saying I had just ruined her cooking project that she worked for hours on, putting so much effort into it. I said I was hungry and couldn't wait, but she kept yelling, calling me an obnoxious jerk for not waiting until she took pictures of the dishes she made. She even said that this was an attempt by me to sabotage her success. I said, "Oh, please, enough with those conspiracy theories. I'm just hungry and couldn't wait until you got the perfect shot." We had a big argument, and she went upstairs crying. I finished my food and then went out to cool off a bit. When I returned, she threatened that she would never let me eat anything she cooks again. She said she'd rather throw it in the garbage than give it to an ungrateful, obnoxious jerk like me. I said that wasn't cool, but she told me to go fuck myself. I said, "Fine," then went to spend the night in the guest room. She texted me the word jerk about 15 times until I turned my phone off. Today, she has gone completely silent. AITAH? Next story, AITAH for telling my girlfriend that yes, the gym is more important to me than her and her daughter. I, 32M, have been dating my girlfriend, 29F, for about 18 months. She has the cutest little 4-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. As our relationship has progressed, I've been spending more and more time at my girlfriend's place, to the point that I've almost moved in with them. This is mostly just because it's logistically easier for me to go to her place since she has a kid and I don't. I work from 4:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. I get to bed by 4 a.m., then wake up around noon, and on most days, head off to the gym for about 2 hours. I like to work out, it makes me feel good, keeps me healthy, and I also consider it a professional responsibility to stay in shape. Working 10-hour shifts means I don't have a ton of time in between shifts, but I also have more days off than most working people. This was never a problem until I, basically, moved in with my girlfriend. Suddenly, lately, when I wake up and try to head off to the gym, she's all, "Oh, it's all about you, huh? Or you only care about doing what you need to do. My daughter doesn't understand why you're leaving and why you don't want to spend time with us." The last time things came to a head, my girlfriend started objecting to me going to the gym. I told her, "I'll see you and your daughter for a little bit before I go off to work, and then tomorrow I'm off, and I don't have a workout scheduled, so we'll have the whole day together. But I have to get my workout in today. It's a priority." She then responded, "So, the gym is a priority, but me and my daughter aren't?" If you want to be part of this family, it's not all about you anymore. So what's more important to you? The gym, or us? I responded, well, if you're going to force me to choose instead of making room for something that you know is important to me, then I guess I have to choose the gym. I then left. Now, I'm sitting in my own apartment. Things may be over. In fairness, I should note that she wasn't insisting I never go to the gym again, she just wanted to renegotiate my schedule. But I was unwilling because I felt as if that would get in the way of my goals. AITAH? Next story, AITAH for lying to my wife about what time the guests arrive because she takes too long to get the food ready? My wife has a huge struggle with time management. Whenever we have guests over, they always end up waiting too long for the food to be ready. Her argument is that she's struggling because there's just so much to do all at once. I'm the complete opposite, I get all my chores done on time and have never had an issue with multitasking. Last week, we were having some guests over. She wanted to prepare a few dishes and asked when exactly the guests would be arriving. I lied to her. Instead of saying 5 p.m., I said 4 p.m. She got into the kitchen earlier and started preparing to cook. 4 p.m. rolled around, and she asked why the guests hadn't arrived yet. I kept stalling, saying maybe there was traffic or something. My wife started questioning whether they were even coming, but at 5 p.m., they arrived. We welcomed them, food got served on time, and we had more time to talk and hang out in the living room. Later, my wife asked one of the guests why they arrived an hour later. He said they were supposed to arrive at the time they'd agreed upon, 5 p.m., and told her that I knew that. I felt absolutely awful, but I kept my cool and tried to change the subject. From the looks my wife gave me, though, she wasn't going to let it go. After they left, she confronted me. I admitted lying about the arrival time so she could be ready on time to serve the food and, honestly, because it wasn't cool to keep our guests waiting like she had in the past. She said I was unbelievable and that I should never have lied. I told her I was frustrated with the whole situation, which never seemed to get fixed. She said if I didn't like it, I should do it myself, but I said I already do my part and never complain. She told me I insulted her and made her feel like she was a terrible host. Then she stormed off. I tried talking to her about it again, but she told me off, calling what I did sneaky and offensive to her efforts. I was just trying to find a solution to this ongoing issue. AITAH, or is she overreacting? Next story, AITAH for letting my daughter wear a tiara at my cousin's wedding? My 32F and daughter Chloe, 4F, has a fascination with princesses. She loves the color pink, wears only dresses, and has a collection of tiaras she wears everywhere except at preschool, where she can't, but she does have one in her backpack just in case. My cousin, Alex, 33M, invited us to his wedding this past Saturday. Chloe was beyond excited because she got to dress up and stay in her dress the entire time. She couldn't wait to see the bride's dress, too. She asked if she could wear her princess tiara, and I, of course, said yes. We arrived at the wedding on time, but the start was delayed for reasons unknown. About 15 minutes after the ceremony was supposed to start, one of the bridesmaids came up to me. She told me, to my shock, that the bride, Jen, 31F, was refusing to come out because Chloe was wearing a tiara. I thought she was joking, but no, apparently, Jen, the bride, was also wearing a tiara and didn't want anyone else wearing one. I explained to the bridesmaid that Chloe loves tiaras and always wears them, but she firmly said, not today she isn't, and insisted it had to be removed. I refused. I felt this was so petty on the bride's part, especially over something as small as a child's tiara. The bridesmaid left for a few minutes, and then Alex himself came out. He told me to leave. I was stunned and asked why. He said it was because I wouldn't make Chloe take off her tiara. I told him this was ridiculous. Alex said, it's not my wedding, and when you get married, then Chloe can wear a tiara to yours. But he added, you're officially uninvited, regardless. Other people around us told me to just take it off, but I stood my ground. Alex's mom then came over and escorted us out. Chloe was heartbroken and crying, thinking she did something wrong, and I'm furious because I can't believe an adult would be so jealous of a 4-year-old wearing a tiara. I also feel bad because Chloe was so excited to see Jen's dress, she loves wedding dresses. But the thing is, no one is on my side. Everyone seems to think I'm in the wrong. AITAH? That's it for now. See you in the next post.